am Gabriella Regina Tesoro, Gabie Tesoro, an 8th grader in Santa Barbara Catholic School. And then I was like, did I make this new speech?
Yeah.
It's about family, and I think, and then everyone clapped for me, and I was like, it's like kind of a spark.
Gabie, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Ah man, congratulations by the way on
Thank
your
you.
on such a great speech for the Department of Youth Affairs Oratorical contest. As we know, ladies and gentlemen, she won that that contest. Am I correct?
Yes.
Wow, tell me about it. I mean, how did it feel to speak in front of everybody and do so well? It was like a perfect speech.
You know, before I said my speech, I was actually really scared and nervous. It was the first time in like my whole life
didn't seem like
to
it.
be scared to speak, because speaking is so natural for me. And I felt so scared to say my speech, and I was so worried. I was like, what if I forget? What if I say the wrong words? What if I pronounce it wrong? And then I said the first word, and then it just
went from there.
Yeah, it was great.
It was like a perfect speech for me, at least. I when I first heard it, I was literally, I had to get off my seat and just I was clapping on my own at home because I know you as well. She's my son's classmate, and so it's extra special for me to see, you know, someone like you get to that level, especially in public speaking. Me as a host, as a DJ, as a 14-year-old as well, it's hard. When I was 14, I don't think I'd ever go in the stage like that and do that and memorize the whole entire speech. But tell us about your speech though. How did you come up with it, and what was your, how long did it take for you to write? How did you masterfully create this speech?
I'll tell you a story. So it was my sister's birthday, and we spent a weekend at the hotel because of her friends. So I got so much inspiration because I was at the hotel. So I wrote with my mom. It was like 12 a.m. and I just typed it into Google Docs, and then I just put all my thoughts into Google Docs, and then I showed it to my mom, and then she fixed it a little bit. She altered my grammar and stuff. And then I read it, and then I was like, did I make this? I was like, I made this, right? And she's like, you did. And I was like, I couldn't believe that I put something, because I knew the theme was strength and unity.
Yeah.
And there was no like question, because usually when I write essays, I need a prompt question that could help me for my essay. But then it was just a theme, strength and unity. So I wasn't sure how to go on about my speech and my essay, but then I wrote a bunch of my thoughts and I put it into a paragraph. I put 3 paragraphs together, and I felt it showed me in my essay, and I felt that was the most important part, that I was able to see myself and I was able to express myself through my essay. And it took me a week to write the essay, to fix it, and then I had Mrs. Rivera, my language arts teacher, to fix it up and finalize it. And then 2 weeks, I think, I mastered my essay. I memorized a paragraph each day, and then after it, I put it all together, and then I say it in front of the mirror, or if I'm not at home, I say it in front of a camera. And then I got really, my voice drained for one day, so I was so worried, what if I couldn't speak in the oratorical contest? So I was so worried. And then I didn't speak for the whole day. I didn't memorize it orally. So I said it in my head. I read it all over and over again, and I said it in my head, and then it helped me internalize it. So it was Thursday, I think, and when Friday hit, it was my final rehearsal with my coach before I set it up. I had a coach.
You had a coach,
yeah.
Wow.
She helped me a lot with my pronunciation and how I said it. And when Friday hit, she told me, I saw how the internalization of saying it and reading it all over again, just laying down in your bed without saying it orally, helped you. So I think it was a blessing that I was my voice drained. It was a blessing for that day, and it worried me, but at the end, it was all worth it.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
And like I said, 14 years old, to go on stage in front of, I'm sure there were a lot of people there, and speak in front of just random people on the stage and other people as well who competed. It must take something else. It must take something. It must be something very special that had to come out in this. But let me ask you though, in your speech that you and I loved it from start to end.
Thank you.
But for you, what stood out the most of what you wrote?
So I made my speech to be kind of parts. In the first part, I said how the problems in the world, and like I stated everything that affected me. And then my second paragraph, I stated how we're designed and how we're supposed to be. And in my last paragraph, I stated what we can do about it. So I think, and throughout my whole essay, I included my 4-year-old sister. Her name is Ari.
Yes, yes.
And I think that's the most distinct and my favorite part about it, because I was able to relate to it. I think, you know, growing up as the oldest sister in the family. The ate in the family. There's a lot of looking after my little sisters and seeing them grow up and helping them and stuff. And I think adding and putting my little sister into the speech kind of altered and made my speech extra special to myself, because I was able to relate to it, and I was able to make it so that when my sister and my family hears it, it's not just a strength and unity speech. It's about family, and I think it's the whole family being united is the whole theme of my essay. So having my little sister in that speech I was able to
to create it. Oh wow! And how did you feel after you've learned? You know, you won.
At first, it was so nerve-wracking because.
I mean, did you know? Did you kind of feel? You know how it is when you go into when you get into a performance mode, and I nailed it. Did you have that same feeling?
Well, I felt that I did great, but I didn't know if the judges thought so too. I was relieved, and I was like, Gabie, you did. I reassured myself. I was like, you did great. Whatever you put out there, it's what's done, you know. But I wasn't sure if the judges loved it. And then, because they had no reaction, I was looking at them. They were the people I had made eye contact with, because they're the most important people, because they graded my oratorical content speech. So they had no reaction. So I was worried if they didn't like it, or maybe they're just showing no emotion. But then at the end of the whole thing, when I got my award and then picture taking and then we shook hands, they all said like, good job, it was such a beautiful speech. And I was like, thank you, because it reassured me that I did great.
Yeah, you did well.
We were both missionaries before we got married. And then when we got married, she became a teacher, and I stayed on as a missionary. So
basically, we make our living talking.
That's who we are. We've been, and so as a couple also, we always communicate. We always talk to each other.
As missionaries, that's what we do. We go to areas, countries, and then we give talks. We give talks.
So Gabie basically grew up seeing us and listening to us giving talks. I remember I would give talks to like large crowds in the Philippines, and then she would just run around in front of the stage, or she would sit down and
she would be there.
She would be there, pretend to listen or maybe listen, right?
So that's what she knows about us. Growing up, she just watches us talk. We bring her to our conferences, engagements, and that's what she knows what we do.
I think that's what inspired her to.
Even as a child, like, at home, she watches TV shows and
she would copy it, right?
She would copy it. Pretend that she's the host of the show. That's what she does. So early on, when we were missionaries, she would be invited to also give a short sharing, and she would confidently speak up without any hesitation.
She started really young, like 4 years old. She would be asked to share, right? Like about 4 or 5 or around that age.
About her love for God and how we would live as a family and do our mission as a family. And she was also invited to because we were in, you know, in missionary work.
Yeah, in a Catholic community.
Yeah, so we would have plays and shows, and she would be tapped to perform, or
like she would be the little kid in the play.
She would gladly do it. And she had no hesitation. So, and at home she would really be outspoken, talk a lot. Yeah. Sometimes you would ask her to tone it down a little.
Yeah. Maybe it really all started with remember when we were praying and discerning what would we name our first child, and then we came across this book and we saw the name Gabriella, and we saw the meaning of the name. Gabriella means God's messenger. Yeah. So this is a beautiful name. So let's name our kid this. And when she was growing up, we saw this kid is really living up to her name.
That's what she does. She speaks and she just delivers the message.
Yeah. Confidently as well.
Confidently, and you know, she has that gift of clarity when she uses her words.
I'm at this stage in my level and career where I speak a lot on radio, on TV. I'll forget my script. I'll forget and I'll just mess up. You just went in there like a champ and nailed it. But tell me more about yourself, Gabie. You're from the Philippines, yeah?
Yes.
You weren't born and raised here.
I was not.
You weren't. So you came in, what grade were you when you?
I was 4th grade.
4th grade, straight off of the Philippines.
Yes.
Wow. And coming to Guam, what was your reaction? First time coming from, how old were you then?
I was 9.
9
I was turning
years old.
10 that year. Yeah, so 9. And then I think,
did you even want to leave the Philippines?
I think I was excited for the new change, but I was worried because coming from a place where my native language, my mother language is Tagalog, so I speak Tagalog every day with my friends. But coming to Guam and it was all American and all, it was all, and then I couldn't, sometimes I'd break into character, like I'd say Tagalog words, and then I would forget, I forgot, they can't.
Pero marunong ka mag-Tagalog?
Yes, I can understand and I speak to my friend.
Hanggang ngayon, do you still speak to your parents at home?
Yes, I do. And some of my friends, kaya nila
kaya nila mag-Tagalog din. In school?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's pretty cool. I've never had that. Can you say, like, your experience also in the Philippines growing up, did it help you?
Oh, definitely,
a lot with this?
Growing up, I was surrounded. My parents, before coming here to Guam, they were missionaries. So they were always on stage talking and speaking about their faith.
So that's where you got it from.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So I was always with them and I was always...
So you saw that?
Yes, I was always watching them. And watching them inspired me. And I remember my first speech, or first talk, it was Christmas of 2015. And I spoke about Jesus during Christmas time. And vividly...
How old were you?
I was... 2015, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2015. Well,
you're younger than you are now, for sure.
Right. I spoke about Jesus and I said that even if we don't have everything in Christmas time in 2015, as long as we have Jesus, it's all right.
I have learned from my parents that it's okay, even we don't have everything. As long as we have Jesus this Christmas, we will always be okay. Thank you for listening.
And then everyone clapped for me and I was like, it like kind of a spark in me. It's like kind of lighted that fire in me to continue speaking. And it inspired me to, and seeing my parents do it all the time kind of also inspired me to do the same.
And I'm sure you inspired a lot of people with this, what you created. Coming back to school, how was the reaction?
Oh my gosh, it was so funny because
everybody got to watch it, right?
Right.
So you were the star of the day. Because they all just freshly got it in their heads. And if they were the same as me, after I watched it, I did my own standing ovation at home. It was like, oh my gosh, and I feel like I'm alone. I forgot I'm alone, but I was so happy. But tell me about your experience of.
It was funny because right after my speech, I checked our group chat, and then it was like. It was messages, good job, Gabie, we love you, good job in your speech. And then I came to school the next day, and then they were all like, man, I cried. And I was laughing because I didn't expect them to, I thought actually they would laugh at it, you know, because, you know, we're friends.
Yeah, you're friends, and you're so serious, right? You're so serious.
And in school, I'm not like, I don't.
Yeah, you're happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were all like, it was so heartfelt. I felt so inspired, and all the teachers were like congratulating me even from my 4th grade years. Miss Guevara was congratulating me, and I felt like it felt very nice. Like people, they were able to understand my speech, and they were able to relate to it.
Yeah, it was, especially what we went through, the pandemic, Ukraine's war, all of that kind of came to play, and it was a perfect way of explaining in your way. And so for me, I was watching it, and it felt like you weren't scared at all. I did not see the stage fright in your face. Actually, when I saw it, I was like, wow, look at her. She's just going crazy on the stage, on the, was that the legislature?
Yeah.
You were at?
It was like, yeah, it was the
legislature. And your message was so strong.
Gabie, I just want to let you know that I'm so proud of you for your win in the recent Oratorical contest this week. I speak on behalf of the entire Santa Barbara Catholic community when I say that I am very, very proud of you, of your accomplishment. I see a leader in you. I see how smart you are and how focused you are, and how much you value the virtues, the values that you have learned here at Santa Barbara Catholic School. So I just want to say that you deserve the win. You prepared hard for it, and you showed us, you showed the entire world, that you could be a model of what it means to be strong in your faith and in your values. As you have mentioned in your speech, there's strength in unity, and you really summarized your points very well, and we're just very happy, and we're just so proud of you. Thank you.
I remember also one thing when she was a baby, isn't it like other parents would have those coloring blocks or those,
you would like
those
mobiles or toys. Yeah. What we would have around her crib are magazines.
Magazines, yeah. So maybe
I
don't know,
red
maybe.
and black, to stimulate her eyesight. But it's magazines, it's not toys.
Yeah.
So we noticed really that she has the gift of speech ever since. Even as when she was like in kindergarten, 1st grade, she was always tapped to do like poetry presentations, we have never seen her feel shy in a crowd. She would never be intimidated by other people. If she has to speak, she will.
Yeah.
And she lives up to her name as God's messenger.
Yeah, and maybe also as she was growing up, we discovered we're seeing she's fond of being on stage, being in center of attraction, so to speak, right? So attention. So we gave her opportunities as well to boost her confidence. So we enrolled her with dance classes. Remember?
Yeah.
So it would help improve her confidence as well.
The message is there. How deep? How important? I know you go to a Catholic school, right? You mentioned God a while ago, and how important is that? Your faith. How important is it for you to have that at a young age now, growing up? Because it really seems like you are well versed in your faith.
My parents, they raised me. They're missionaries. They raised me to be a young woman who really believes in God and puts my faith into action, not just reading the Bible. That's great, but putting it into action is what makes it extra special. So putting God in my speech and including Him, and I was saying that God is love, and we're created out of love, and we're designed to love. So putting that, I was really, at first I was like, are they gonna like it? What if they're not?
Because with the situation, it's I think it's so brave of you to just come out and show what you didn't care what everybody else said. You wanted your message to be heard, whether it's with God or not. You had it. You really wanted to get it out. And like I said, we live in this world now that we are usually, silenced in terms of religion. But here you are, like I said, you came out there and your faith was shown. You had God in part of your speech as well. And I congratulate you for that as well, because like I said, galing niya magano. It's just a beautiful speech, and I'm sure our viewers and our listeners will be able to see a glimpse of that speech in this episode.
Treasure their relationships, especially in this time of pandemic where isolation, distancing, and quarantine.
Gabriella Tesoro, who just literally won just not too long ago the Department of Youth Affairs Oratory Contest. It's just, they do this every year?
Yes, it's annual.
Every year. So can you compete and defend your championship next year?
Yes.
Oh!
But I'll do it for academy now, because I'm going to academy.
So it's open to everybody?
Yes, it's open to every school. So as long as the school joins and I represent a school, so next year I'll be a 9th grader.
So you're like the defending champion, and you just gotta defend it? Is that how it goes? Or is there a different level, middle school and
high school? It's different.
Oh, it's a different level.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll
you're
be competing with the high schoolers.
high schooler.
Now.
Gabie, we're so proud of you. Keep on achieving your dreams. We know you are really a gift, not only to us, your family, but to many people. Live up to your name, be God's messenger. But always remember to always be humble. I always remind you of that. Always be humble. But at the same time, just spread your wings, fly. As you fly, don't forget the people around you. Help the people around you. Bring them up, pull them up as well. Because God has placed you here on earth for a mission, and God will use you powerfully if you just allow God to love you so much.
We're very proud of you. Ever since you were young, we already saw your more than your gift of speech, it's really leadership. As the firstborn daughter, as the big sister in the family, and we have seen you lead not just your sisters, lead in class, lead projects, and this fire in you has really allowed you to become the person that you are right now, and we are grateful that you have been given these opportunities to soar high. So we are always here for you. But what we always say is your greatest strength can also be your weakness. So we're here to really challenge you, push you to the limit, and see your greatness. But we're also here to ground you, to make you realize that your gift is not yours, but it's supposed to be used for God's glory and to make His love known in this world.
I'm actually an athlete, so on a daily basis, I have practice and then I'll have schoolwork. I think I'm thankful for the fact that I have a busy schedule, that I have practice almost every day, because it kind of allowed me to manage my time and to kind of value the time I have, because now that I'm 8th grader, 14-year-old, incoming freshman, I realized that I have to value the time I have, because it's not much, because I'm always in school, practice, and I realized this time management, I think this talent I've developed, I think
That's
I've
a
realized...
huge talent at 14 years old. At 14 years old, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I could manage just me sleeping. I'd probably oversleep, but yeah, here you are, 14 years old, she's time managing. Go ahead.
I have so much things going on, but I forget to value the little things, which is family, friends, the people that are always there for me, and the people that have never left me all throughout and have supported me. So I have to value those things, and I think it has helped me kind of grow into what I am today, and it actually helped me with delivering my speech too and making my speech.
Okay.
So.
Well, if I were to ask you this, and since we're in the topic of unity and like what we went through with 2 years in the pandemic, we mostly stayed at home.
Right.
Now the war in Ukraine is there. But what does the world need, in your sense, besides what we know from your speech? If there's a message that you wanted to share, like what message would that be, just to let everybody know?
I think we have to realize we're all human beings because we expect so much from each other. We expect so much that we have to be perfect. We have to reach the standard of ours. But we forget that we're all human beings and we all make mistakes. It's normal, you know? We're all human beings and we gotta accept our differences and accept the mistakes that we made so that we can move forward. We're the same, we're human beings. We're different because we have our own personalities, but at the end of the day, we're all human. And I think we have to value that and we have to love each other for our differences because it's very rare to see people love the differences.
Yeah.
When you meet someone, you love we have the same similarities, right? But then it's very rare to see someone to love your differences.
Oh,
so
wow. Are you really 14 years old?
I am.
Are you
I'm
sure?
born 2007.
Wow. Like I said, during my 14-year-old days, I was playing video games. And here she is talking about, about love and human. It's beautiful though that, when you see what the kids are doing now, Instagram, social media ruling, WhatsApp groups, and your usual, social media. I mean, it's ruling, and I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, and I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but what do you want to be when you grow up?
So I'm still in the discernment journey. I'm still praying on it because, having to decide something, it's hard, and especially the career I want to pursue. But there's something in me, I actually have two. I kind of want to be a teacher or a lawyer. Those are two different.
Wow, that's just...
Right. The teacher is coming from my parents, and I want to be able to inspire children to, kind of speak up, because especially in this new generation we have, and then the new generations after, I think it's going to be a challenge to speak up, So I want them to be able to speak up for themselves and stand up for themselves. A lawyer because I like defending myself and defending people, and I think I like, when I stood on the podium, I like that feeling.
You like
I like the podium.
Maybe TED Talks in the future.
Sure, maybe I can try. Or maybe I can be a
TV host.
Yes.
Yeah, all that. Wow,
right.
We're hiring her. No, but yeah, so this is your thing. You like to talk, basically. You like to be in front of somebody, to be inspiring others as well. I think that's important. I think it's very important. I mean, me as a coach, we want to win games. We do. But I think the real winning is when you get into their hearts and you kind of change their mindset and build their character. So good luck on lawyer. It'll be a long path, but I think you could probably even do both. I want to congratulate you again, Gabie. I'm so proud of you, and I'm sure everyone is proud of you. Your parents are proud of you as well. And I'm hoping in the future you get that championship or whatever you call it for your high school.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And that was another episode of People right here on Megamixx TV, channel 26.1. Thanking Santa Barbara Catholic School, Gabie, her parents, the principal, and everyone behind this entire interview tonight. We want to thank you, and we hope to catch you on our next episode right here on Megamixx TV, channel 26.1. See ya!